Today's the 26th of March. This is Brad Matheny. This is the morning plan your trade video. And today we are looking at a flat down pattern in the SPY and QQQ. That means that we're going to be looking at some sideways consolidation, very much like we kind of saw yesterday. We are looking at a breakdown pattern tomorrow and then a carryover in counter trend mode on Friday. Now, where we're at in this explosive type of trend with bearish long-term trending and short-term accumulation is that we are looking at a rolling kind of a top, in my opinion. I've been highlighting this for a while, indicating that I thought that we would get up into this area and roll. Really kind of thought that we'd get over into that 21st, 22nd, 24th area, but we've got this last little spike. I called that out last weekend, and we've come up and we've hit that 575 area that I talked about. Talked about maybe getting up into the 580 area. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. This rolling flat down pattern, this is an hourly chart, should roll into kind of a consolidated sideways trend, rolling down into a breakdown, possibly moving down into this area, 554, 555 by the end of March or early April. So we're really looking at kind of a breakdown mode here, setting up this downward trending cycle, filling this gap window, potentially coming down into this gap window and trying to stall. I am expecting a new low to set up through this downtrend. So, whoa, quit drawing. So be aware that I think that we could move into a low down into this 530, 528, 535 area. So I really think that we could be moving into this kind of a low, a deeper low setup. I set this chart up, which is one of my, what I call my dual index charts. And you can see what I'm looking at right here. This was the 2022 downtrend off the topping pattern, setting up a widening megaphone type of pattern. You can see the low that we established through here on this deep downward trending, carrying all the way across right over to here. If we do break down below this area, you're going to be looking at recessionary trending. So be aware that if we get below this level over the next couple of weeks into a downward cycle trend, we're going to be looking at a moderate recession setting up. And I do kind of believe that we could be looking at a little bit of a bounce and then a breakdown into this area before rolling back out of it. Kind of like that. So be aware that, we're looking at this as kind of a line. I'm looking at this as kind of a line in the sand carrying over with this rotation here. Now, traditionally, in an expanding market, I would be trying to expect a bullish roll here. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to really just fail and roll down into that recessionary trend, which will be pushing this downward. And this is, of course, my fear index or my crash index up here. And this is one of my other proprietary indexes right here. And of course, I'm using one of my proprietary tools here. Should have got rid of it, but it's cleanly pointing to the downside right now. Okay. Really just clearly pointing to downward trending. This is weekly, and I think we're going to stall out and roll downward over the next week or so. So this is really kind of not accurate. This is more kind of like that. So we'll see how it plays out. So right now on the SPY, we are looking for that flat down pattern to carry into a downward trend targeting this 560, 563 area just below this gap. So really, this area right here, 563 or below, is kind of my downward target right now. Looking for that rollover to set up. In other words, won't really know that this is confirmed to the downside, should be once we start to get into this rollover. We've had this moderate flagging. You can see this coming down here, rolling down into this moderate flag setup. So at this point, a breakdown of this gap window, filling this gap, moving down to 563 would indicate more potential downward trending, and that would indicate the potential to get below the flag low, which is right here, and break down even further. So we're going to see how this plays out, guys, but really it's setting up very cleanly as a flag breakdown. Okay, so we're again looking at the flat down pattern, with tomorrow being a breakaway. Need to let you guys know I'm going to be on the road taking my brother to a follow-up appointment this morning, so I will not be available to address some of your issues except on my phone when I'm not driving in California traffic, if you guys know what that's like. But let's just move on to the gold pattern. Gold is looking as an inside breakaway right now, in bullish trending. Warning, it's moved into warning as of yesterday. That's because of the consolidation. Let's come over here to the gold and silver chart. So we've moved into a warning because we've been consolidating. This is a 1 hour chart, and this is a 1 hour chart. So when you look at this as a daily, you can see that we've moved into this consolidation phase across this area here. Get rid of these, but across this area here. And again, you can see that we moved into this consolidation phase right in this area sideways. So we've moved into a warning channel, essentially telling us that, hey, gold and silver have moved into this sideways kind of a consolidation phase, looking to see some sort of a breakout. Now, in reality, like I told you guys before, I really think gold and silver are going to make a big move, really big move up to the upside. You want me to share with you how much? I really think that, if you were to look at this and or this, there you go. Gold's going to make a move, in my opinion, up into the 3,400 to 3,600 area, right up in here. Very quickly, I believe this is going to be something that's going to blow people's minds how quickly this happens. Like, could happen before the end of April. And I believe that silver is going to attempt to make a move up into the 42 to 44 area over that same time frame. So again, you've got a very aggressive move, I believe, coming in gold and silver. And I believe it's, again, just a matter of time right now. And personally, I'm positioned for this move. This is going to be a very solid upward trend. Get rid of all of this stuff. Going to be a very solid upward trend in about 30 days. Imagine gold moving up 450 to 500 bucks in 30 days, and silver moving up almost 10 bucks in about 30 days. I believe that's very, very likely to happen. In other words, I can't say guaranteed, obviously, but, let's put it this way. I'm betting $1 on it, okay? More than $1. I think it's just highly likely that gold and silver continue to rally from this point. And I think, as I mentioned to you earlier, you look at this gold chart and you look at this silver chart, we've gotten above this resistance level here on silver. We have yet to get above this resistance level here on gold. It will, in my opinion, push higher. And then secondarily, we're going to come back up to this resistance level here on gold, probably today. 30, 40, 30, 50, probably today or tomorrow. And then we're going to be off to the races. So you take a look at these and try to keep them roughly the same color. And you can see my expectations are a melt up rally. And once we clear this level, this 30-60 level, which was trying to draw a straight line, but I guess I can't with my mouse. Once we clear that 30-60 area, then we're off to the races. This is going to be a big expansion move, probably up to 3250, 3280, and then stalling back out. So gold is going to run into its stalling patterns, particularly if the SPY rolls downward a bit. So be aware that if we get into some big breakdown instead of moderate meltdown, gold will consolidate a bit like it's been doing. But that's also dependent on the dollar. The dollar's been holding up pretty well. We need to see what happens with the dollar. If the dollar starts to weaken a bit, gold will take off like a banshee. Okay, so now let's come over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trading near 87,600, rolling downward. You remember I talked to you guys about how Bitcoin was coming up to that 88,000 area that I talked about. It's on the other chart here. Bitcoin had come up to that 88,000 area that I had talked about. I think it's here or here. Where is it? Where did the 88,000 go? 1 hour daily. There it is. Just had my chart messed up. So you can see that we've come right up to that 88 grand level. We're stalling out. I mean, I can just basically draw this back over here. This is the top that I was expecting. It's right at 88. It should be weakening. It should be rolling over a bit and should be attempting to move back down to the 78,000 area and then a bit lower, which puts us at about 73, 72. So let's call this 73,000. And I bet that this is going to be the next big move here, this rollover in trend. I read an article yesterday that says, if the world adopts Bitcoin, blah, 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 it can go to 700,000. Yeah. I mean, if the world adopts Bitcoin, there's a lot of things that could happen. But, the problem with Bitcoin, like I told you, is it's really at this point a store of value for people who believe in it. Yeah, it's going up, has gone up. You can turn around and say, well, it started at pennies and it's at 88,000. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is the fact that the Bitcoin has yet to really be, replace normal transactions throughout the world. It's more of a unique store of value. And I believe that we're looking at this big, broader trend to the downside right now through this recessionary basis. And even if it were to become adopted by large institutional firms, I still think that we're looking at this move down to $40,000, $50,000, which is again a 60 to 50% decrease in value. And again, in order for Bitcoin to really maintain some strength in the global context, it's got to stop moving in these 60, 70, 80% ranges. It's just, it's very difficult to maintain a store of value that moves up and down 40, 50, 60% in the course of a couple of months. You won't see the dollar doing that. You won't see too many other currencies doing that unless there's a major crisis. Okay, so that's where we're at, guys. We're looking at a potential. Let me check the gold. So we're looking at an inside breakaway leading to that pop pattern in counter trend mode. So we could get kind of a big spike here, rolling up today, leading into a counter trend mode tomorrow, then setting up for more of a rally. And that could be a very solid little move here for gold, assuming that we move into a temporary bottom, gap, revert, flush, rotate, top resistance, crush. Ooh, we got a big crush pattern in trend mode. That's another big bar, really a tremendous size bar. So be aware that we could get a big breakout here. You can see that silver is just now trying to break above here. We could see a pretty big move up in this area and then kind of a pause. So be aware that we could get a nice little breakaway move here, then a bit of a pause on Thursday, rolling into continued trending. It's going to be very exciting to watch gold and silver today. I think we're going to be looking at a big move, guys. I mean, it's not huge, but it's going to be a good solid rally overall. And that'll probably mean that the dollar is going to weaken just a little bit and the markets will stay fairly flat. And remember that this is the broader picture right here. This is the broader picture of kind of what I want you guys to pay attention to. Okay, this is the crash index. This is one of my custom indexes. We get below this level here, we're looking at a recession. So be aware that, we could move into recessionary trending right down below this level. All we've got to do is break down into this lower channel, and theoretically, we're in recession type trending, where all assets will start to move into a recessionary mode, and gold and silver and other hedge assets will start to perform. We'll see if Bitcoin starts to perform in that manner as well. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Go get some. I'm going to come back over here to the SPY, and remember, we're rolling. So this is daily SPY. We're rolling into a sideways channel, and trying to roll over potentially into a top. In my opinion, it's going to be very exciting to see this next big roll. You can see it rolling down, rolling all the way down to this 520, 530 area. That's kind of where I think we're headed. We're rolling over, and we're going to have a good, solid 7, almost 8% downward move. All right, guys, go get some. Talk to you later.